Hello and welcome, everyone. We're back for another podcast, the Just Economy Podcast, building a just economy, $1, one vote at a time. This podcast is sponsored by the Community Reinvestment Alliance of South Florida, soon to be renamed. To be on the lookout. We're going to become a statewide organization, and the new name will be the Community Reinvestment Alliance of Florida. But in the meantime, the Just Economy podcast is bringing you a wide variety of guests. We look forward to doing that in the near future as we have our members as well as members of the communities throughout the state be invited be a part of our guest list here at the Just Economy podcast. A reminder, the Community Reinvestment Alliance of South Florida, the Summit 22 is February 24th. 2022 at the Signature Grand. Get your tickets now. They're now on sale. Check out our website, crasf.org. That's crasf.org. Early bird tickets are on sale right now. So today we have a very special guest, an organization that I didn't know existed until recently, and they've been doing some great work in the community and helping our nonprofits in the community. This morning, we're going to have on our podcast Ms. Karen Lavergne. She's from the Florida International University Office of Engagement. So it's amazing what you find out when you don't know what's going on, right? Like I told you, I consider myself a voracious reader, and I never knew about this organization until we started working with partnering with another organization here in the community. But again, this morning is Karen Lavergne from the Florida International University Office of Engagement, and she's going to talk about what Florida International University is doing to help our community and, more importantly, to help our nonprofits become a bigger part of the community and engage. So welcome, Karen. Thank you for coming in. We greatly appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So first, let's hear a little bit about Karen Lavergne and the background of the Office of Engagement.
Sure. So hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be on the Just Economy. I am born and raised in the 305. I'm a Hialeah girl, proudly from there, still live there. And I have been in this community my entire life, except for I was in the Peace Corps for a couple years, to the dismay of much of my family, but I served in the Peace Corps. Pretty sure I'm one of the only Hialeah girls to have done that, but I did serve in the Peace Corps in my mid-20s, a little quarter-life crisis, but came back home and kind of dug into working in the community. I've worked in the nonprofit sector for about 20 years since I've been back. Worked for an amazing organization called City Year. It's an AmeriCorps program that is working nationally, but also has a huge local presence. And then about 6 years ago, was able to join the FIU Office of Engagement, which is what I do now. And thank you for having me, because it's not just you. A lot of people do not know that we exist and what we do. So I'm happy to dig into that.
This is great because, again, I never knew this office existed. I never knew the organization existed. And like I said, I'm a very, very nosy person. I try to find out everything about everything and about everything about everything. And I was so intrigued to learn about the Office of Engagement and how we can better use it in the community. And so glad I heard about it. So thank you again for coming on. So give us a little bit of history behind the FIU Office of Engagement.
Sure. So just to put it into context, we are a tiny office, but we're in a giant university. Florida International University is one of the largest public institutions in the country. We have about 60,000 students, 10,000 faculty and staff, rising in the ranks. It's one of the youngest universities to rise through college rankings so quickly. So we work within this context of this huge public institution, Miami's only public university. And about 12 years ago, President Rosenberg, when he kind of took the helm and leadership of the university, he always understood FIU has been integrated into the community since it opened its doors in 1972. Obviously, Miami was going through a huge growth and boom, and the university has grown with our community. But he recognized that he needed a strategic office to work and engage with the community. And so that's how our office was born. 12 years, it seems like a long time, but really it's a very small history that the office has at this point. So from its inception, the office has focused on really two things. One is we manage strategic partnerships on behalf of the university. That can be private sector, public sector, nonprofits, anyone who wants to work across multiple units in the university. We work directly with them, and we serve almost like as a concierge service. So that's one. The second part of our dual mission is really understanding what is happening in our local community, whether that is, again, private sector, public sector, the economy, what is happening, and how can we leverage the resources of the public university to partner with community. We're never going to come in and say we're going to save it, but it's about, because some people have the mentality in our community, but
Yes.
it's not about that. It's about how do we join forces with community, with people who really know what's going on in their either their neighborhood or in the realm of the work that they do. How do we partner strategically to build solutions or to bring opportunities into our community?
Great. Let's expand a little bit on opportunities. So, how do you guys determine an opportunity with a nonprofit, for instance?
It really depends. So you hopefully have come across some of our staff out in the community. We're a small team. We have about 8 people focused on the region. But if we come across you or you reach out to our office, we have a conversation and we determine that there's a potential to work together, we will jump in. It can be anything. Your nonprofit can be focused on economic development. Your nonprofit can be focused on children's mental health. Your organization might be focused on a climate change initiative. If we can find you a strategic partner inside FIU, whether that is a climate scientist or someone researching child psychology, we will matchmake. So that you can leverage those resources. The other things we do, which are more kind of surface level, are if you are having an event and you need a venue and you think a university might be a good venue, we'll find you a classroom, we'll find you an event space, depending on what your needs are.
Okay. We're going to delve into that a little bit further when we come back. Again, we're here with Karen Lavernia from the Florida International University Office of Engagement, and we're going to talk more about how they help the community and the community nonprofits build their reputations and help the community with their particular mission. We'll be right back. And hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the Just Economy podcast, building a just economy, $1, 1 vote at a time. We're very fortunate today to have on our podcast Ms. Karen Lavernia from the Florida International University Office of Engagement. And she's talking about the great things that university offers in helping nonprofits get out into the community and better support their mission. And we were talking about the programs that you offer. So, question for you. What drives FIU to an organization, or vice versa?
It really, we hope organizations will be driven to come and work with us. Again, we're a public institution. We are here for the public good. We're here to serve the public. Resources are available, and we have an open door policy. So I would encourage any of the nonprofits listening to reach out to us, call us, email me. I'm going to share my contact information at the end of the podcast, but we have an open door. So come and let's talk about it, and let's see if there are some connection points that we have. We don't necessarily prioritize one topic over another. We have FIU has 190 degree programs. There are thousands of researchers working on all kinds of different things. Maybe sometimes the time is not right? Sometimes, like right now, everybody wants to talk to a blockchain expert. Well, we have a few blockchain experts, but everyone wants to talk to them, and they're doing their own research, so they may not have bandwidth. But next year, that same researcher may come across state or national funding opportunities and may need to partner with a nonprofit or with other partners in the community. And at that point, if you are engaged with us, we're doing some things together already. Those are the opportunities that can then get lined up.
Okay, so along those lines, especially with partners, because we love to encourage the organizations to partner together, and that sometimes can be a challenge. But I got to laugh. Sometimes that can be a challenge. So do you help lead these nonprofits to partner with other organizations as well, helping them collaborate?
We absolutely do that. So we tend to have a pretty good understanding of what is happening in the community, where there might be funding opportunities, where there might be collaboration opportunities. And then we run multiple programs out of our office where nonprofits can get engaged if it's of interest to them, right? So I'll talk about a couple of those. So we have a program called the Talent Development Network. This is a program we operate out of FIU, but it works across all of our universities as well as Miami-Dade County Public Schools. And the focus is on building internships in our community so that students get some real work experience before they go out into the world upon graduation. This program is totally free to employers. We do ask people to pay them in some way, shape, or form. Nonprofits get a little bit of a pass, but we do help work with nonprofits to build some capacity so that they understand how to if the internship program is something that they're doing for the first time, we work with them to help build their capacity to run that.
Because every nonprofit there's always a shortage of folks to work in the nonprofit. Nonprofits have a tendency to the folks who, especially the ones who start new nonprofits, throw their whole mind, body, and soul into it, and they're working at 24 hours a day and then wondering why they can't get off the ground or can't get past it. But that internship program is another thing I didn't know about. That I'm really feeling dumb today.
I'm sorry, that's our fault.
But that's another thing I didn't know about this, that the intern possibilities. And nonprofits need to better understand the intern possibilities because there are a lot of students who want to get active in the community, want to be a part of the community, want to give their time to a specific cause, but don't know how.
Right.
And you have that program.
And this is very strategic. If a lot of our local nonprofits, we are trying to work on that, but marketing, right? A lot of our students and young talent, they know way more about how to attract attention on social media, programs that I don't even know exist yet. But they know more than the rest of us do about how to build a marketing plan. And those are very simple connection points we can make. We can get you access to students who may want to volunteer their time or they may want an internship. And that's great opportunities to kind of engage long term.
Yeah, Karen, this is amazing. I definitely have somewhere to refer nonprofits to because, like I said, we were talking earlier, or we're talking in the break about how nonprofits have a tendency, especially newer nonprofits or younger nonprofits, have a tendency to get guidance from older nonprofits, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, having that strategic input from a university and being able to say, okay, look, I can actually go to that university and actually get continuous input because when you try to partner or when you try to talk with an older nonprofit, their time is limited as well, and you guys are dedicated to some of these things. So, are you only working with organizations in Miami-Dade County, or you're using the whole region?
No, we work across the region. So we have partnerships also. So we run another program called Life Sciences of South Florida. That one is a 5-county initiative. So projects like that, even though that one is focused on life science talent and life science internships, but it allows us access to 5 other counties to work in and build connections in. And so yes, we're open to working north of the Miami-Dade County border.
Oh, great. That's great. That's great because, there are a lot of great organizations out there and they need all the help they can get. Especially, I really love this internship program that I didn't know about. I really love this internship program. I had heard that, a lot of folks use interns. As a matter of fact, as we become a statewide organization, we're going to employ interns in the different sections of the service areas that we're going to target. But this gives young people a chance to see what a nonprofit does, because a lot of students don't have a clue about nonprofits. I've even been engaged to come and speak to a couple of groups at Florida International University about what we do, what the banks are required to do, and how we help them manage that. So I really love the way you talked about the internships, and you talked about how we can help better these nonprofits and make them stronger. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about what the requirements might be for the nonprofits, depending on the particular program. We're going to talk more about that in a minute, about the requirements of becoming a partner with the Florida International University Office of Engagement, so you can get better informed, become a stronger organization, and help succeed in executing your mission, which can always be another difficult project as well. We'll be right back in just a few minutes with Ms. Karen Lavernia from the Florida International University Office of Engagement. And welcome back to the Just Economy podcast, building a just economy, $1 one vote at a time. My guest today is Ms. Karen Lavernia. She's from the Florida International University Office of Engagement, and she's enlightening us to some great programs that, again, I didn't know existed. So, in order to get the nonprofits stronger and more engaged in their community, and Florida International University sounds like they're doing a phenomenal job. We're working with her as part of another project that we're on, and they're doing a phenomenal job in helping that organization get off the ground. So, Karen, I wanted to ask about requirements. Are there any certain requirements that a nonprofit must meet in order to engage with the Office of Engagement?
No, there are no requirements. Obviously, if you want to, for example, use a venue or use space, there would be requirements, obviously. Liability insurance, 501c3 status. But otherwise, if you're just kind of getting off the ground, we can help connect you. And this is informal. We can help connect you to some resources and the right opportunities. So those of you working, for example, with children, the Children's Trust has really great programs to help you get that 501c3 status. So we can just help connect you and engage you with the right people to help kind of build at the beginning the foundational things you might need for your nonprofit. Later on, as you grow your nonprofit, there are hundreds of opportunities. Like I said, there are 191 degree programs and multiple non-degree programs also. So there are any number of ways you can partner depending on the nonprofit's priorities.
Okay. So Karen, it's important. I think it's incredible that you guys there are not any requirements. Just having a passion to help our community in some way, shape, form, or fashion, so we can build a just economy, number one, and make our communities stronger than they are now, and give everybody an opportunity. So we were talking about something earlier, a type of academy that you want to start. Could I hear more about that?
Sure. My boss doesn't even know about this, but this is an idea that I've been thinking about for a long time, so he's going to hear about it now.
Sometimes the best ideas are the ones that the boss doesn't know about yet.
But look, our staff, so we have a staff of 8. It's a pretty small staff, but most of us come from the nonprofit background, community development background, and obviously we have the academic background, something that we would love to do. And there are some existing programs like this in the community, but I think there's always more we can do, is to build a nonprofit academy of sorts. Like I mentioned, the Children's Trust already has a really great one to help with building, getting ready for your financial audits and building kind of some of the the contracts and things that you might need as a nonprofit. But again, sitting at this public university that is just full of knowledge, full of resources in terms of people and knowledge, I think building a cohorted model within FIU that is focused on nonprofit leaders and helping them build the capacity for their organizations is kind of the dream for us. As I mentioned during the break, our office, we have to write grants and fundraise for all of the programs we run. And so that is the next thing, is that we will be fundraising to try to build this kind of program within the next couple years, as long as my boss says yes, which I think he will.
I think the podcast will put a little pressure on him to say yes. But this is a great innovative program, and we've seen in our community, a lot of different individual workshops, trainings, classes for nonprofits. We've seen a lot of those, along the lines of helping small businesses. We've seen a lot of those. But having an academy that you can actually go through in order to learn how to start a nonprofit from scratch, learn the legal liabilities, learn how to prepare for an audit, learn how to keep your financials, just like in a small business. Learn how to keep your financials, marketing, social media. All those things are important to a nonprofit, just like they are to a small business. They're just as important to a nonprofit. And you have, thousands of students that can help with that.
Right.
I would look forward to trying to support you in any way possible, help get some funding. I think this would be something that maybe the financial institutions might be interested in, especially along the lines of the Community Reinvestment Act. So
We're always ready to ask for some more funding for community
Well,
work.
aren't
I'll
we all?
tell you,
Aren't we
we're
all?
ready to go. And that's the other thing is right. Part of this academy would focus on we are a community. So Broward does this well, but we do not do it well. Is collaboration and building real partnerships where both parties benefit. We don't do it well in Miami-Dade County. There are examples where it does work well, but we just don't do it well, and that is something that we would love to focus on because that attracts more funding than one organization could do by itself.
You're preaching to the choir because I say that a lot about to the nonprofits to learn how to partner, learn how to collaborate. I try to get the financial institutions to be a part of that collaboration, a part of that partnership. But if the organizations won't collaborate or partner, then I have a problem. I gotta kind of build it up. It's very, very difficult. I think egos get in the way. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
Egos get in the way. Who's going to do the most work gets in the way, that type of thing. We've come a long way in Miami-Dade County. I will say this. From the early 2000s, we've come a long way. But we definitely have to get better at it. And I think having an academy like that will help foster those partnerships, help foster those collaborations, get organizations more involved with saying, okay, I may not have the direct program, but I have a partner that does, and we both can benefit from and help the community. Right. It's always very, very difficult, but having something like that academy available, and with Florida International University behind it, I think would be a great idea. So when we come back, I'm going to ask the question I always ask, and all of you who have seen our podcast know. I'm going to ask Karen the big question, what she would do if I gave her all the power. So please return for the next segment. We'll be right back in a few minutes with the Just Economy podcast. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Just Economy podcast, building a just economy, $1, one vote at a time. And we're here again with Karen Lavergne from the Office of Engagement at Florida International University, providing us with some great knowledge and some great programs that they're running out there at the Florida International University. So she's been forewarned. The question I always ask, and I ask all our guests, is, I gave you the power today. You could do whatever you wanted to do with that power. What would you change? What would you make better?
So I would love, if I had all the power, all the money, right, through the Office of Engagement. I think something that would be incredible, this academy, I think would be a really great benefit to the community. But also, on the other side of that is building an academy for our faculty members, especially those that are coming into Miami, to get a deep dive into this community. Put them through almost like a 305 boot camp. What is this? What is happening in this community? What do they need to know as they take on this research? Oftentimes, right, people are coming with the theory, but understanding economic theory and seeing it on the ground, those are two very different things. So deep dives into our neighborhoods and our communities.
You know, that's very, very interesting that you say that, because, you know, we've had a serious influx in the state of Florida, and specifically South Florida, of tech companies,
Right.
financial companies, investment bankers. You know, they realize that they can work from anywhere. The pandemic has taught us that we can work from anywhere. So they're moving from New York. They're moving from California. They're moving to Florida. We have no state tax. We don't have 8 million city permits that you got to purchase. Right. None of those things. So including them, I think you just said something very profound. Including them as a part of that training so they can better learn our community is phenomenal. That's a phenomenal idea.
See what happens when we collaborate?
Yeah,
See
exactly.
when we collaborate,
I need
new
to lobby
ideas.
your boss.
Yes, like a welcome to Miami. Now let's learn about our community.
You know that's wow, because they can learn about our housing, our real estate, how it's blowing through the roof, how rents are have gone crazy. We have no real affordable housing. Climate change, climate gentrification. It'd be phenomenal for organizations coming into our area to learn about that. That would be something. You know what else that would be good too? That would be something that the Beacon Council should employ as well. Miami-Dade County Beacon Council,
Let's do it.
as well as the other similar organizations that are funded by taxpayer funding to help bring in jobs and to bring in companies to our area. To be able to attend something like that, that would be phenomenal.
Right? If we all learned a little bit more, I think growing up in Miami, we all stay in our own little bubbles, our own little communities. And once we get out and we understand kind of the broader scope of what's happening, who is here, I think it's going to make us better. It's going to help us make better decisions around how we spend our money, where we invest our money, who we partner with, how we partner with people. And I will say, I will give credit to our vice president and my boss, Saif Ishouf. Saif very early on saw the tech movement coming and wanted to be at the table. And so President Rosenberg and Mayor Suarez did kind of create a new novel, a very novel partnership where our vice president actually serves as the mayor's advisor. So Saif has been able to be that voice when these new investment bankers, tech companies are coming in, to kind of be that voice to say this community is... yes, it's a beautiful community. Yes, it's summer all year long. It's a beautiful place to be. But these are the other things that are going on that you need to know about and that you should think about kind of contributing to as you hire our local workforce and pay fair wages.
That would be so phenomenal. As a matter of fact, I went to an event the other day over on the beach, and it had tech companies introducing tech companies to nonprofits.
Yep.
That was a phenomenal thing. So believe me, I'm going to, as you state, that we may be able to use classrooms or
Yes.
event centers out at FIU. I think that's an idea I'm going to steal from the event, and we can work together on. As you're coming into our community, we welcome you into our community, and we welcome you bringing in jobs and bringing in the tech world. But you need to know what's going on in Model City. You need to know what's going on in Liberty City. You need to know what's going on in Hialeah. You need to know what's going on in South Dade, Homestead. You need to know what's going on in these communities so you can partner with nonprofits to make it to invest in the community for real. For real, invest in the community. And not just know, okay, let's South Beach and Wynwood, downtown, okay, all cool areas, don't get me wrong, but there's things that's peripheral to those areas, right next to those areas, because it's interesting in South Florida, you can have homelessness and billionaires in the same zip code.
Right.
So that that's something, that's a phenomenal idea. I really, really love that. So before we go, Karen, please give us your contact information.
So first, you can look up all of our programs on our website, engagement.fiu.edu. You can contact me directly at 305-348-7752. And you can email me at Karen, but it's spelled weird. So listen, it's CARYN .Lavernia, LAVERNIA @FIU.edu.
Okay, so one more time, give us contact information so we make sure they get it.
Okay, phone website engagement.fiu.edu. Phone number is 305-348-7752. And email address is CARYN.LAVERNIA @FIU.edu.
Thank you, Karen. And let me say this. This was a phenomenal conversation today because I think it was great that the nonprofits understand it. And now as we bring in these tech companies and we bring in all these folks who are bringing in all this money to our area, they need to understand that too. They need to understand what's peripheral to the great areas that they want to be in. And I'm looking forward to maybe partnering with you guys in order to have a conference. And not one of those conferences where we're all stiff. One of those conferences where we have a little wine. We talk about what the organizations do. We talk about what's peripheral to the areas that they're moving into and how they can better help and what nonprofits they might want to get involved with.
I love that.
I think that's a phenomenal concept, and I look forward to working with you on that. I think we've covered some great ground today. If you didn't know about Karen Lavernia and the FIU Office of Engagement, you do now. If you're a nonprofit, if you're an organization that wants to partner with nonprofits and you want to get involved with what nonprofits are doing in our community, here's how we can do it. So please, please, please reach out to Karen. Let's involve FIU in everything that we do. They do some great studies. I've worked with them before. They do some great studies providing information on our communities. But this, working with the nonprofits and building up the nonprofits, and now Let's talk about bringing in all these organizations who are moving to our area to better discern how they can help in our community and help our communities grow. Again, thank you for watching the Just Economy podcast. We build it as we build Just Economy $1 one vote at a time. Don't forget about the Community Reinvestment Alliance of South Florida Summit at the Signature Grand, February 24th. All-day event. We're going to have some great speakers, some phenomenal panelists, phenomenal breakout sessions, and I'm going to serve you breakfast and lunch. You can't beat that with a stick. So get your tickets now. Go to our website, crasf.org. That's crasf.org. And we'll see you next time on the Just Economy podcast with another great guest. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you soon.